What's up, everybody? Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the new subscribers. Welcome back to the old subscribers. I'm going to be going through some messages. Some of it's going to be going over kind of what's going on in a certain scenario in your life, maybe how this person sees you, what they're thinking about you. Also, there's going to be some messages from them to you, as well as messages from people. You know what I mean? The other people. Anyways, I'm on the air signs, Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. And the card that starts is the Oracle card, Growth. And I want to give you a couple minutes to look at this card. See the kind of vibes you get from it. The number 15 or 1 and 5 could be sufficient or suffice, but I feel like with the growth, this is has a lot to do with how you grew up. It has a lot to do with your mind state, maybe when you were 15, maybe how it is that you perceive yourself when you look in the mirror, because someone sees you as very beautiful, that especially when it comes to your hair. Maybe you wear like little things in your hair, or maybe you take pride in your hair looking good or something along that lines. I feel like self-image for you is a big deal. Either way, someone sees you as very beautiful, very good looking, very handsome if you're a guy. You have the Chariot card, Justice, the High Priestess, the Four of Cups, and the Ace of Cups. So your own energy, Libra, shows up. Some of you guys could be dealing with a Cancer. Some of you guys could be dealing with a Pisces or a Scorpio or the spiritualist type of person. You're trying to make a decision and trust your intuition, but it's almost like you're not even interested in this offer from this person, or this is kind of, there's more to be learned about a scenario where there's a Cancer or maybe another Libra involved. Maybe this is about you figuring out your own energy, where it has to do with masculine and feminine, where maybe growing up, there again, going back to that energy, growing up, your views on a mother figure or a father figure in your life, I feel like there's a lot of feminine energy. I don't see a whole lot of masculine energy here, Libra, and I think that that might have a factor in some of the types of people that you may deal with, that maybe you don't understand why they're not more masculine. Maybe there's something that you need to accept or forgive or understand when it comes to a masculine. Or this could be this person's own energy where they need to understand and accept, or try to understand and accept, a feminine energy in their life. Or this could be across the board for all air signs, since this is Aquarius, Libra, Gemini. Something about love in general is just not interesting to you. Some of you guys know that this is a situation where it's not even. It's not something that works out very well, because you just can't seem to make a decision. You don't want to make a decision. You feel like you don't know the answers. I think that for a lot of you, it has to do with self-love. Some of you guys are really good cooks. Some of you guys, that might be an area that you'd like to pursue. Maybe there's going to be someone who wants to, something about seafood, maybe lobster, Maybe someone wants to cook for you. Some of you guys are going to be very good actresses. You like to be in front of the screen, in front of a camera. You like to pretend. You like to live in maybe another life, or pretend you have another life. Very diva-ish energy. Some of you guys are all about accessories. With you have to have the necklace and the matching earrings, you know, and the shoes. Everything matches. Everything looks good. Penguin energy is representing someone who's very strong and resilient and loyal. Someone who's been through a lot of things in their life. Hasn't had it so easy. Hasn't had it easy at all, but you've weathered all the storms. Some of you guys kind of thrive in a cold environment. Maybe you're seen as a cold individual. There's something with the vibration or something about a chair that maybe that you played with as a child, or some of you guys might have issues with your back, and a rocking chair might alleviate some of the pain, or something along those lines. Or maybe putting ice along the parts of your spine that are affected. Some of you guys are runners. Some of you guys like to run. You like to exercise. It's like you're trying to climb this tree to get to this honey, but you're going in the wrong direction. Maybe you climbed the wrong tree. Maybe it's time to do some reflection on... Some of you guys might run into a chair and hurt yourself, so be careful. Something with your ankle or your left ankle. I think that you guys have been through a lot, and you put on a facade to the world that everything is fine. Some of you guys that could be watching my video might be someone who does mukbangs. Hey, how you doing? It's difficult to understand our emotions sometimes, especially the ones that I remember when I was a teenager, everything was so confusing and there were so many hormones and emotions, and I was so moody all the time. I feel like some of you guys have been stuck in that age or that mind frame for so long. That you could be more than one thing. You're very multifaceted. You have more than one ability. You have more than one thing that you like to do. It's time to trust your intuition a little bit more. It's time to even the scales when it comes to a situation, and maybe accepting the light energy as well as the dark in your life, because that's what it's all about. It's about balancing our own energies. Sometimes that's growth. That's also balancing the different parts of your brain. You know, people need to do more research. There's 3 different parts of your brain, and a lot of people are stuck using one side of their brain. And if you go back and you look up the reptilian brain and how all of this shit started, and how, you know, it kind of explains a lot on the human nature now, and how people have basically been using only one part of their brain, but the part that they're not using is the part that processes emotions, that thinks it has a really good decision-making skills. if you're suffering from some of those things in your life, it's time to reevaluate. It's time to take a step back and meditate maybe, and understand that maybe the way that you're thinking is completely different from someone else. I feel like some of you guys are dealing with someone who uses a different part of their brain. They're the complete opposite of you, but in a way it balances it out, doesn't it? That this person is the kind of person who wants to be with you and only you for the rest of your life. And they want you to sit the fuck down and relax a little bit, just breathe, stop running from things and stop trying to avoid things, that maybe everything that you need is already here. That maybe it's okay to admit that you don't know what it is that you're searching for. You don't understand the disconnect between you and your emotions. You don't understand why there's just constant lessons and trials and tribulations, one after another in your life. But this is all a part of growth, and that we never stop growing, we never stop learning, we never stop. I don't think any of it really ever stops, but we do gain a better understanding as time goes on. Some of you guys are like completely shedding your exoskeleton, for lack of better words, and going to something new completely, and you don't recognize yourself anymore. You don't know who this person is. And a part of it's exciting, and part of it is you're like, I don't know. But at the same time, maybe you're dealing with someone who hasn't done that, and this person is completely boring, they're disconnected, they're always unhappy, and it has nothing to do with you. So don't take it personally. If this person wants to run away from you and run away from love, there's nothing that you can do. You can climb the tree, you can run with them, you can run after them, but wouldn't that be kind of sacrificing yourself in a way, and your own boundaries and your own self-love, if you're chasing someone else who doesn't know what the fuck they want? That in order for the chariot to move forward, both of the horses have to be pulling at the same time, in the same vibration. You have financial constraints. You have man holding a heart in reverse. You have strategy. Finances in career. Love yourself first is in reverse. New love. Young male. Triangle. Victim consciousness. Entrapment. And the messages are, I'm sorry, but I had to go. I can't find no peace, and I hope that you feel the same. This person felt like they needed to leave your life. For one, because they felt like you didn't want them. For two, that's what they do. That is their defense mechanism. That's the only thing that they know how to do. This person's going through a lot of personal things where their heart is upside down. They are worried about money. It is affecting how they do things, but they're also not loving themselves. They're trying to come up with a plan to make more money. They're trying to not worry that maybe you have other people. But is the reason this person had to go is because there's a triangle air signs? Because I feel like just when you feel like you climbed another obstacle and you've got away from something, then another person pulls up and you're left with this indecision, like, what do I do? Be careful not to get stuck in a victim consciousness where everything is everyone else's fault all the time, because it's not realistic, right? A part of growth is understanding that sometimes we play the victim very well. Sometimes we have bad things happen to us, but we've also made some decisions and had a lot to do with the things that led up to that up until now. That sometimes those thoughts that you have in your head that replay over and over, where you're worried about money and you're worried about what someone else is doing, and you're just overall full of anxiety, and you're never slowing down, you're never stopping to move or process or really stop and feel any emotions. That negative mind space is kind of bringing in more lack. That my best advice to all the air signs, if this is you, is to start every single day by writing down 3 things that you're grateful for. And if you do that for, I believe it's 30 to 60 days, that it will help reprogram a part of your subconsciousness to get yourself out of the lack mentality, to bring more abundance into your life, to attract more things instead of overthinking the bad, which in turn brings more bad in. What you focus on is what will be, that your thoughts do become reality. That someone in your life, all they really want to know is that you feel the same way that they do, that you have a plan for this, for them in your life. That if they were to ask you, you know, how it is that you feel, or ask you why you run away from everything, ask you why you're always stuck in your head and you're worried about money, that maybe the right thing for them was to leave. That someone needs to respect themselves more as a person and get out of a heavily negative mind space, which has nothing to do with you, to even be in a position to love you the way that you need to be loved. That if they're running from you, let them run. But if you run after them and there's still another person, that you made that choice and that it's not their fault, it's your fault as well. That maybe you both need to come up with a plan together about what it is that you want to do moving forward. And if someone can't have the decency to have a conversation with you about what it is that they want, what their goals are, what the plan is for you and them, then it's not worth your time anyways. And to remember that if you're focused on money the rest of your life, there's never enough money in this world. And when they put you in that box, that doesn't go with you. None of it does. So don't spend your life worried about money, because there will never be enough money. So that's all I have for the air signs. I hope you guys have a good night.